So let's take a quick look at this new survey out this morning on the meaning of capitalism. Now, 22 New York University, Abu Dhabi undergraduate students from 16 countries were asked what they think of when they hear the word capitalism and if America will remain the world's economic superpower. Pollster and political strategist Frank Luntz conducted that survey, and he joins us now. Frank, let's start with a soundbite before we even get into it on whether these students give capitalism a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
I think capitalism makes people, as I mentioned, the word slave, in a way that people are selling their time, selling their labor, selling their intellectuals in a competitive way that the capitalist decides which is the better.
So, Frank, was she representative of the view of that group?
Yes, she was. And this is the most diverse, globally interactive university on the face of the earth. There are almost 100 countries represented, dozens and dozens of different languages, and they have the same conclusion that the economy is not what it was. They're not convinced that it is what it will be. And these students are very vocal about wanting to have the same opportunities that existed before the pandemic, and very concerned that capitalism doesn't spread those opportunities equally. Now, I know that Joe's going to yell about this, so let me preempt it. There are a number of students who would identify themselves politically as left of center, but they still believe in compassionate capitalism, in some sort of hybrid capitalism. It's not that they're rejecting the free market entirely, whether you're from South America or Asia or Africa. They simply want capitalism to work for more people across the globe.
Frank, I'm not going to yell. I lived through the 70s, 60s, and 70s. I've seen this movie so many times. Watch Easy Ride. I've seen it again and again. It can all be summed up with that old expression that if you're not a socialist when you're 20, you have no heart. But if you're not a capitalist by the time you're 35, you have no brain. And it's just, that sums it up. I've got nothing else to say. I'm not even saddened by it. It's so predictable and tiresome to me. And if they think China is a better place and a better economic model, walk in those shoes for a while. Walk in a Uyghur shoe. Walk in someone's shoes over there in China for a while and see if you don't want to come back. What I really like is they're texting anti-capitalist stuff on their shiny new iPhone 11 without the slightest self-awareness where that iPhone, slightest idea where that iPhone came from. That's the funniest thing. But go ahead. I don't really care.
Let's hear from what they have to say. Because
I already did on Brett Baer on Wednesday night. I already saw what they said.
Joe, but we have reserved the best stuff for this show right here.
Okay, good. All right, good.
And what was impressive about it, these are the best students that they're specifically chosen to represent their countries. And so they are very optimistic about their future. But they do see the China economic miracle, and what they communicate and what they say is, it's not that they're hostile to America, is that they want China and America to find some sort of cooperation, some sort of collaboration so that the world can benefit. And I want to emphasize that these students are not your typical American students. They're not even your typical global students. They are the best of the best. And I've been using them for the last 2-3 years to understand the leading indicators of what young people's points of view will be as we look forward. And it does concern me. They are too well educated and too well knowledgeable just to simply dismiss them.
Frank, let's take a look at a couple other clips here, because you also asked them if the U.S. or China will become the top economic power in 20 years. And here's what they had to say.
And with the development of internet, development of more factories, more advanced technologies, our economic or our GDP growth speed will still be able to maintain. And as long as we are able to maintain the speed of growth, we'll definitely exceed America and maybe the rest of the world.
So the American empire is going by the way of the Roman Empire here?
Well, you know what? Every empire at some point does. I mean, that's the truth. That empires can last 100 or 200 years. But what is fascinating to me is that the Chinese students are perfectly happy to give up political freedom to get economic freedom. And that is a very dangerous precedent for this country, for America. Because right now they're selling the idea that capitalism simply shares its benefits to a limited number of people. That with the Chinese model, you can't yell and scream and you can't be political, but you can still share the economic benefits of the economy. That it's actually economic freedom is a better model, according to the Chinese students, than American political freedom.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.